Welcome to Hour of Devastation, a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast where we talk all things Magic the Gathering. I'm your host, Joe Lowdon, and with me always is Sam Neal.
Hiya.
How are you doing, Sam?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. How's your week been?
Okay. I've played minimal Magic again.
Yeah, I haven't played much Magic this week at all.
Oh, I've played some Modern, played some sweet decks that I decided to build.
Cool.
I decided to just put the Nightfall combo into Zoo, which is pretty sweet.
Okay, cool. How did that go?
I went 3-1 at F&M.
Cool. It's better than the 2-2 of the
Yeah, I'm getting better. Yeah, I lost to Jund because I had some really anemic draws.
Jund seems to be doing really well at the moment.
Yeah, I just can't beat all of their disruption because I'm playing Noble Hierarch, Warden-Cottle, Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
And then if your Blood Braid hits are pretty bad, then it's pretty bad. And then I've built like a spicy Infect deck.
Okay.
Which I found online, which is playing Mishra's Bauble and Traverse the Overworld.
Okay, cool.
Because you just want to farm more threats. And it's really bad and really slow, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
So
sounds quite interesting. Maybe we'll see that pop up in a What the Deck at some point.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely want to test it more and actually take it to a proper tournament because I like playing bad decks.
Nice.
So how much Magic have you been playing this week?
Barely any, to be honest. The vast majority of my Magic playing this week has been taken up by Arena, which I'm quite happy that I can talk about it now. A little less happy about the game itself, but I mean, we'll get into that at some point during the show today.
Absolutely. Does that count as playing Magic?
I mean, maybe.
Sweet. I've also been scrubbing out of some M25 drafts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I drafted. Turns out Relentless Rats is not good.
I mean, if you get enough of them, like 8 or 9, sure, but
3 is not enough.
No, 3 is definitely not enough.
I took 3 out of the first pack, and then the Rat Catcher out of my pack 1 wheeled, and I was like, sweet, this deck is going to be great. And then I saw no more, and it was just got crushed by Elvish Aberrations.
Oh no. Speaking of pack 1 pick 1s,
do
we have a Cracker pack this week?
We do indeed. It is Masters 25.
Hey, fantastic. Let's see if we can get another run out of that.
I'm going to open a Relentless Rats and pick it first. Right then. I can get into it. There we go. Cool, right. First card is Pyre Hound.
Okay.
It's 3 and a red for a 2/3 with Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a 1/1 counter on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first pick so far.
Yes, the first card is normally the first pick. From Shadows over Innistrad. It's okay.
Yeah, it seems like fine. Like, I wouldn't ever first pick it, but I've probably played a few red decks with it in.
Yeah, sure. Right, next card. Knight of the Skyward Eye. It's a 1 and a white for a 2/2. You can pay 3 and a green, and it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate it only once each turn.
Yeah, again, seems like fairly mediocre.
It seems okay, like casting it on the curve, and then later it becomes an actual threat because it comes with 5/5.
Yeah, for sure, but committing yourself to 2 colours in that pack 1, pick 1
that's true.
as a common right there, I don't think it's going to be the pick.
Yeah, I agree. Right, next one is Dirge of Dread.
Okay, and what does that do?
2 and a black for a sorcery.
Yep.
All creatures gain fear until end of turn, so they can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures.
Yep.
And it has cycling, 1 and black. When you cycle it, you may have target creature gain fear until end of turn.
Cool. I'm not first picking it, but I don't think I'd be too disappointed if I end up in like a mono black or a very sort of heavy black deck.
This is cool as a sort of mini overrun in your mono black aggro decks.
Yeah.
I quite like it. Also, the art on this card is sweet.
Yeah.
Like some screaming skulls.
Oh, nice.
Dude with a massive... It's great. It's great, but I'm probably not picking it. Ooh, Balduvian Horde.
Okay, now that's a card.
Yeah, 2 red for a 5/5.
Yep.
And when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random.
Yeah.
This is great.
That's the pick so far, definitely. Balduvian Horde was a pretty good card of its time, and I think it's fairly acceptable in this sort of modern sort of limited environment that we have nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about 4 mana 5/5s.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think when this was spoiled, someone shared an article where it was when this card was first printed in Alliances.
Yeah.
And the article was just like, they've lost their minds, this is way too good. And now it's just sort of, a common in this set that you might take.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Ooh, next card is Presence of Gond.
Ah, Presence of Gond is pretty good. Like, you can do some silly things with that card.
I like it. It's 2 and a green for Enchantment Aura.
Yep.
Enchanted creature has tap, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token.
Okay.
I mean, I like this card in Pauper.
Yeah, the card is very good in Pauper. I've seen some like ridiculous infinite combos with it, like people just doing things and making like a million elves. Like
yeah, you put it on Midnight Guard, which untaps whenever a creature enters the battlefield, and you have infinite elves.
Yep, that seems pretty good.
That can't attack that turn, so you lose. This is fine. Like I don't mind it. It sort of, if the board's stalling out, you can just make a 1/1 every turn.
Yeah, for sure. Like
your opponent.
I think that there seems, from what I've seen, there seems to be an argument for sort of trying to force these 2-card combos as well. So you could easily pick this first, and then you go find the Horseshoe Crab and just take that as soon as you can.
Yeah, this is great with Horseshoe Crab.
Yeah, I think personally I would still pick the Hordes over this.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I agree.
It's it's a consideration at this point, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I quite like this next card as well. Mystic of the Hidden Way.
Ah, yeah, that was a good card.
Yeah, 4 and a blue for a 3/2.
Yeah.
And it can't be blocked. But it has Morph, so you can play it face down as a 2/2 for 3 generic mana, and turn it face up for 2 and a blue.
Yeah.
I like this card.
Yeah, I like the card as well. It's like it's not. I don't think it's great as like a 5-mana 3/2, but the morph creatures are generally really good.
Morph creatures are great. Like, yeah, I'm not picking this first, but I'd be very happy to pick this up in a blue deck.
Yeah, for sure. Any deck really, if you're really sort of struggling for playables, you can play a morph card in there.
This is like that. It's very respectable, and then like in the late game, a 3-mana, like a 3/2 that can't be blocked is pretty nuts.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, next one's probably my pick so far. Disfigure.
Yeah, Disfigure's good.
Type creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn.
Yeah, that's my pick as well, I think. Like, it doesn't just say destroy target creature on it. It doesn't say, exile creature, but there's a fair amount of things in this format that it does just kill.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like all the morph creatures.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Or all of the elf tokens from Presence of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is sweet. I've played decks with multiple copies of this in. I think it's just good enough.
Yeah, it's fine, definitely. I think that would also be my first pick at this point as well.
I don't know. The next card is Colossal Treadmore.
It's a bit of an Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan All-Star there.
I mean, it's been printed in literally the last 3 sets.
Yeah.
4 and 2 green for a 6/6 with Trample. It's a dinosaur.
It's fine. Like, you need your sort of just big creatures, big vanilla creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6 mana 6/6 with Trample. I'll play it in my green deck.
Yep. Like
I wouldn't ever first pick it. Like, ever.
No, not even close.
No.
Especially when you've got this figure in the pack.
Yeah.
Ooh, Pillage. The next card.
Okay.
1 and 2 red for a sorcery. Destroy a target artifact or land. It can't be regenerated.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of people getting very excited about Pillage being in the set when the set was spoiled. Because I think it did. People were speculating that it was going to have more of a sort of land destruction theme in the limited than it actually does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've come across any sort of dedicated land destruction decks.
No.
I've lost to an Armageddon, but that's losing to Armageddon, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it happens rarely. What can you do about it?
Yeah, it's not like the resource denial that this is trying to go for.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not sure if there are any artifacts I particularly care about, unless I'm missing something huge. Like Ensnaring Bridge is annoying.
Yeah, I mean, like Sunder and Titan, but when are they going to have an Ensnaring Bridge in Sunder and Titan?
Yeah, like, it seems... I don't know. I'll probably pick this up for a red sideboard, but I'm not picking it first.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, might pick this though. Court Hussar.
Ah, Court Hussar is a pretty good card.
I'm a big fan. So 2 and a blue for a 1/3 with Vigilance.
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you paid white to cast it.
It's pretty good. Like, a 3 mana 1/3 with Vigilance is fine in most formats.
Absolutely.
Then the fact that it also do like almost an impulse when it enters the battlefield as well is pretty good.
Yeah, it's sweet. I like this card.
Yeah, me too. Like,
still not sure if it's better than Disfigure, but
I mean, Disfigure doesn't kill it.
Oh, that's true.
So I think honestly, I think it would be my pick at this point.
Yeah, it's strictly better than Disfigure because it beats Disfigure. Sure.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not taking the first uncommon.
No? What have we got?
Isan Shade.
Ah, okay.
3 and 3 black for a legendary creature, uncommon. 5/5, protection from white.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, I do love the art on this one.
Oh, it's awesome, yeah.
Like,
really cool.
It's one of my favourite sort of new art pieces in the set.
I actually think mine's Pillage, because the art on Pillage is...
Yeah, the art on Pillage is really nice.
But yeah, this card's just whatever.
Nobody's really going to pick it that early on, given that it costs 3 and then 3 black to cast it. If you find that you've got like a sort of high pick black rare or mythic, like a bomb in your pack, then yeah, get it on the wheel and try to sort of draft the mono black sort of dark ritual deck, but not as a first pick, no way.
I think the only card that I'd first pick that's this committed to a colour is probably Phyrexian Obliterator, because it has such a dominating effect on the board.
Yeah, exactly.
We could get there.
Yeah.
So, the second uncommon, Regrowth.
Regrowth is a good card.
It is 1 and a green for a sorcery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yep.
This is my kind of card. Big fan.
It's fine. It's not first pickable, but it's fine.
No, but it's sweet. Yeah. This is definitely a me card.
Yeah. It's. I mean, sure, there's some decks I'd probably be happy playing it in, but it's.
Yeah, I'm not taking it.
Probably not a card that I would take.
Okay, last uncommon.
Yep.
Quicksand.
That card.
For land, tap to add a colourless. Tap, sacrifice it. Target attacking creature without flying gets -2, -1/-2 until end of turn. I don't hate picking up lands that act as removal, but not first pick.
I don't think it's good.
At all.
It's not really. No. I think I would rather pick Disfigure over this. Because it's with Disfigure. You play the card once and then that's it. Whereas Quicksand, you're having to sacrifice the card as well. So and it's a land.
Yeah, I feel that.
Being behind on land is never fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it kills morphs, right? That's what we care about.
Yeah.
It kills Mystic the Hidden Way.
Yeah.
Still doesn't kill Hawkasar.
It doesn't. Yeah, I think Cortazar is definitely my pick so far.
Oh, no, did it?
No, what we got?
Armageddon.
Oh, there we go.
That's what I'm taking.
So yeah, maybe you are playing the land destruction deck.
Absolutely. 4 and white, sorcery, destroy all lands.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I would also pick this card as well. I don't even know how good it is, particularly in this draft format.
Yeah, I have no idea how to build this deck. I don't know how to build an Armageddon deck in this format, but I'm more than willing to give it a go.
Yeah, I think I would do the same in this position as well. The set is about sort of iconic cards and casting notorious cards from Magic history, and Armageddon's one of those notorious cards, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad opening a mythic that's worth about 20p, but
yeah, at least it's not that tree.
No, at least hang on. I think tree is actually worth more than Armageddon, but sure. A foil might change things. You never know.
Yeah, what have we got?
Oh, it's another Balduvian Horde. Sure.
So yeah, fair enough.
Ooh, and I got a Cobbles of Care Keep token.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's the very first time that card has had a token.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really nice as well. I mean, that makes the £8.50 price tag of the booster pack worth it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm lying.
No, it doesn't, which I think everybody's sort of talked to death about it now.
Yeah.
There's a problem with the Master sets, and hopefully we'll see it sort of addressed and changed to sort of where they need to be in the future. But
yeah,
it's just a big shame that the past two haven't been what they could have been.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed drafting it.
Yeah, but, same.
I mean, paying nearly £30 to do a draft to open, stuff like Armageddon or Tree of Redemption, it just feels bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've been enjoying doing the Phantom drafts on Modo.
Yeah,
because they're basically free. If you do well enough, they're basically free to keep going, and it's been a fun formats draft. But opening it in paper feels kind of bad.
Yeah, I think I've only done 3 drafts of it in total now, and it is fun, but I just can't justify doing any more at the cost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I already own 4 Armageddons. Yeah, I just bought 4th edition Armageddons for Old School, and now I have one that I can't
play anywhere. Yeah.
I got a Regrowth as well. Man, this is full of old school playable cards.
Yeah.
You can play. Those are the only 2 in the pack. You can't even play them. Anyway.
No.
Let's move on.
So yeah, after our Cracker Pack, let's move on to our card of the week. So what's your card of the week this week, Sam?
Mine's boring again.
Yeah, boring or Boros?
Oh man, I mean both.
Sure.
Yeah, my card of the week is Lightning Helix.
Okay, cool. And what does Lightning Helix do for anybody out there listening who might never have seen the card before?
It costs a red and a white for an instant. Deal 3 damage to target creature or player, then gain 3 life.
Cool. It's a pretty good card, I think. You're right, it's nothing fancy, but it's one of those staple cards that sees play in quite a few different formats. Yeah,
since... So I picked some of these up for Modern since I'm playing Blood-Braid Elf, and apparently I like playing red now. Okay. Which still hurts for me to say. But that card's just really good, because Bolt's seeing more play. I like playing Lightning Helix now. Lightning Helixing adjacent Mind Sculptor feels better than bolting it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, casting Lightning Bolt is great.
Mm-hmm.
Casting Lightning Helix never quite feels as good as just casting a Lightning Bolt, but I know which one I'd prefer to cast for free from a Bloodbraid Elf.
Absolutely, it just feels sweet. Like, flipping it off with Bloodbraid Elf has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very interesting, but I just thought I'd let people know that I'm embracing red spells now.
Good. It's always good to try new things.
Turns out they're really good.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone was right.
Yeah.
So, what's your card of the week? Is it slightly more interesting than plain old Lightning Helix?
It is slightly more interesting, to say the least, I think. So, once again, it's another card from Dominaria.
Okay.
Except it's kind of not. So, my card of the week is Fire Song and Sunspeaker. It is a new creature card from Dominaria, except it doesn't actually feature in the booster packs.
Right, okay.
So the only way to get this card is if you buy a box from a Wizards Play Network store. So it comes as a buy a box promo. It's an interesting card, to say the least. So it's Fire Song and Sunspeaker. It's a legendary creature. It's a Minotaur Cleric. It's 6 mana, so it's 4, 1 red and 1 white. It's a 4/6. And it says, red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink, and whenever a white instant and sorcery spell causes you to gain life, Fire Song and Sunspeaker deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
Sweet.
Maybe.
Wait, so there are 2 things before we get into talking about this card that I want to... One, this is just 2 Hurloon Minotaurs.
It is, yeah. That's
Hurloon
something that I've
Minotaur.
noticed, the bit of an Easter egg in it, a bit of a throwback, I guess, to sort of the original old Magic sets.
Yeah, so the flavor text of this card is the peaks of Hurloon never fall silent.
Yeah.
So these are Hurloon Minotaurs, which is a 3 mana 2/3.
Yeah.
And this is a 6 mana 4/6.
Yeah.
For 2, and there's 2 creatures on the art.
There's 2 Hurloon Minotaurs on the art there.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, considering how excited I got last week about flavor. I thought it was only
definitely.
fair to mention that this is little Easter egg was sweet.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that we're sort of seeing as more and more of these Dominaria card arts get spoiled, where we are seeing sort of throwbacks to sort of classic Magic and all of the sort of earlier Dominaria storylines and characters and cards, and I'm just loving it. Absolutely loving it.
It continues to be sweet.
Yeah.
So, my second point about this card, what happens if you have it in play and you cast Lightning Helix?
It gives Lightning Helix lifelink.
So does it
you'll
gain 6 and deal 6?
Yeah, so you gain 6 and then you deal 6. 3 of that damage will be to... I guess it's all going to be to target now, isn't it?
This only says target creature or player. It doesn't say Planeswalker.
And neither does Lightning Bolt, but Lightning Helix is going to get the redirection thing that Lightning Bolt's getting as well.
This is Lightning Bolt is being errated to
target creature or player or player. So I think it's just to target, but it'll be target creature, player or planeswalker.
Okay, whereas Fire Song and Sunspeaker only says creature or player.
That is correct, yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that change affects Fire Song and Sunspeaker, or if it just does what it says on the card.
Because this is all about the redirection rule, right?
Yeah, for sure. So they are sort of changing the redirection rule, where in the past, or I mean, as it is currently as time of recording, when you cast a spell, so using the Lightning Helix for example, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life. So that target player can be redirected to a planeswalker that player controls.
Mm-hmm.
So they're changing that to just target the planeswalker directly, and we're having... I think I read the article about it, and I think they've listed it was over 700 cards are going to get an errata.
Jesus,
so
that's not good.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen a sort of significant rules changed like this for quite a while, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of opinions on that, but I think maybe that's for another podcast. But I'm just going to say that's bad.
Yeah, it's gonna change things, and it's going to complicate and confuse for quite a little while, I think, until everybody gets into the swing of how it works.
Yeah,
because you're going to have cases like this where you have an older card saying deals 3 damage to target creature or player, but it's been errated to say any target now, although the card itself doesn't say that. But then some of the newer cards, as Fire Song and Sunspeaker, also says 3 damage to target creature or player, but that doesn't mention Planeswalker.
Yeah, so this card has the same templating as old cards that can still target a Planeswalker with the new rule.
Yeah.
but those cards can target a Planeswalker. This one can't, despite having exactly the same text because of the rule. It's going to be very, very confusing.
It is going to be very confusing.
Especially considering both Shock and Lightning Strike will be legal at the same time.
Yeah, with different wording on them as well, yeah.
So you could put those both in the same deck, they both say the same thing, deal damage to target creature or player, but two of them can target a Planeswalker and this one can't.
Yeah.
It's very... Anyway, it's
very odd, but I think once we get a little bit closer to Dominaria and the sort of rules do sort of change slightly, I think we'll cover that a bit more in depth later. Because there's a lot to talk about. Over 700 cards are getting a rules change, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Some big ground to cover there.
Absolutely. So, why have you chosen this as your card of the week?
So I've chosen this as my card of the week because I think out of everything we've seen from Dominaria so far, other than that Damping Sphere from the other week, there's been a lot of discussion about this.
Yeah.
Part of that is, it's two things really. So first of all, we've got Wizards of the Coast have announced a brand new format that they're supporting to go along sort of with the announcement of this card, and that is Brawl. Now we're going to speak a bit more about Brawl in a little bit, but Brawl essentially it's standard Commander really.
Yep.
So you sort of build a deck and play a game with the same rules or very similar to rules to that of Commander, where you have sort of one card to be your Commander, and the rest of the cards in your deck can only share a colour of your Commander's colour identity. So this one, for example, would be Boros, that is red and white. So I could only have red or white cards, or colourless cards in my Commander deck, or my Brawl deck, sorry. But Brawl is the sort of standard format, so it only uses the cards from standard, and you can't use anything sort of prior to that.
Yeah, the format we were all waiting for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's a bit of an odd one.
I don't get it. I don't understand why this format exists.
But I think before we talk about that, I want to go over the other point, which was that this card is only available if you buy a box of Dominaria from a Wizard Play Network store.
Yeah, and people have lost their minds about it.
Yeah, people have been very upset about that. Because it's understandable, because that kind of thing sets a bit of a precedence. Like, this card, I don't think this card is good enough for standard.
No, I think part of the discussion is the fact that this card sucks.
Yeah, I don't think it's good enough for standard, and certainly is not going to be a 4-of. Like, you're not going to jam a playset of Firesong and Sunspeaker in your standard deck. Like,
absolutely not.
Ever. So there was obviously that whole idea of limiting the availability of the card.
Yeah.
Will sort of, obviously, it affects the price, supply and demand, but I don't think the demand is going to be there, despite the fact the only way to get this card is to spend, £80-90 on a box.
Yep, it's I'm not sure it's a bad thing, because it's not like the sort of thing where they're printing, Scarab Guard as a buy box promo and it's not in the actual set, and this is the only way you can get it, where that's, a staple in basically every standard deck.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't going to have the same effect, because I think some Commander players will pick this up.
Yeah. Despite
the fact I also think it's bad in Commander, it doesn't do anything. And
yeah, I think Commander's a much better home for it. It's a fairly interesting sort of build around Commander for sure, and I think it kind of does two things really. So it offers Commander players an incentive, or maybe it offers them a point of interest to sort of buy a box of Dominaria, which they might not have considered in the first place. Which is, the goal of Wizards of the Coast is to sell boxes, sell booster packs. At the end of the day, like, they're a company, they need to sell their product.
Yeah, I think Magic players forget about that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And the other side of that is, if it's a Commander card, then surely the standard players won't be interested in it. So that all that does is just add an extra little bit of value onto your booster box. Yeah,
like you get a free. I'm imagining the price of this card is something like $5.
Yeah,
£5.
I can't see it ever being more than $5, really. Like, even as a Commander. So we've been having a look on sort of sites like EDH Rec and looking at like the top commanders of all time. Like, there isn't a Boros commander in the top 21 commanders of all time. Like, it's not really a popular colour combination.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of ground has been covered on it, but basically it doesn't do anything as a colour pair.
Yeah.
So, like, there aren't any powerful effects in in red and white that you really want outside of board wipes. There's no ramp, there's no card draw.
Yeah, and why would you sort of limit yourself to playing a red and white deck when you could just have a Mardu commander or a Jeskai commander and
just like jam in
a lot sort of better things, really.
Yeah, so you can play some of the cards, but you can play Rhystic Study or Phyrexian Arena and actually try and win the game. But I mean, this card doesn't do anything.
No, I think even the fact of that, when you look at the abilities deal 3 damage to target creature or player. So it's not each player or each creature. So in your sort of multiplayer commander games, even then, it's not really going to be doing a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, like, because we imagine that this card is designed for Brawl, right? This new format.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the thinking behind it.
Because Brawl is 60 card singleton, whereas Commander is 100.
Yeah.
It's only standard legal cards.
Yeah.
So you also can't put land cards on there, so you couldn't put Smuggler's Copter in your Brawl deck.
No.
So it's 60 cards, including your Commander.
Yep.
So it's 59 cards that you actually shuffle, and each player has 30 life.
Yeah, each player has 30 life in Brawl. Yeah.
Rather than 20, which is normal constructed formats, or 40, which is Commander. And the article from was it Gavin Verhey who put it up?
I think so. Yeah.
Said that it's recommended to play multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get. So, like, the thing with Commander is that you pull from 25 years of Magic, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All these ridiculous effects that massively impact. I can't think of many standard legal cards that are really going to, like. I wouldn't want to sit down and play a 4-player game with standard cards.
No, not particularly. Like
Scarab God maybe, but what am I doing with like the 30 other slots in my deck?
Yeah, for sure. Like the other thing that you can do in Brawl, which you can't do in Commander, can't normally do in Commander, is you can have a Planeswalker as your commander.
Sure.
So I have seen sort of brews or ideas when I've been thinking about the format as like mono red. Maybe mono red's a thing. Like you just have like Chandra, Torch of Defiance, and recur her a few times, or like Hazaret, like casting Hazaret at any point in the game seems pretty good.
Just why aren't you just playing standard?
I don't. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just play standard or just play Commander.
Like, because the thing with this is you're playing standard legal cards, right?
Yeah.
So if you're playing a legendary creature if you're playing a legendary creature or Planeswalker as the commander of these decks.
Yeah.
So turn 5 you're trying to cast a Scarab God. Well, that's the point of a lot of the standard decks anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like you're trying to cast a Hazaret on turn 4 with no cards in your hand, which is the point of one of the standard decks.
Yeah.
Or you like I don't understand how this is beneficial, because you're then having to. So if you're playing a mono red deck with Chandra or Hazaret as your commander,
yeah,
you're playing all the good cards like Glorybringer and Rekindling Phoenix.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, because it's singleton, you just have to put in bad cards, right?
Yeah, definitely. Given that the card pool is so small for what it is.
Maybe I haven't done a lot of research on this because I feel like this is a format I might be wrong. Maybe I'll love it. Maybe it's because I'm an avid Commander player, but I don't think this is a format I'll be touching.
Yeah, I won't either. I'm not a particularly fan of Commander. I think while I really like the idea of the format, I don't really enjoy sort of multiplayer Magic as much as I do sort of 1v1 Magic.
You just like fun.
I mean, yeah, probably. Counter spells are fun, right? So yeah, I can't imagine why I would want to play a format that I don't already massively enjoy, but restrict myself even more within that format. Yeah,
because I think it's being marketed as the sort of casual constructed format, right?
Yeah, definitely. I guess you can kind of see reasons why sort of that would work, or why some players would sort of enjoy it that way. Like the other thing I've seen is limited players. It could be a good way for limited players to play a constructed format. So if you get people,
they just pull all the cards they have. Yeah.
If you get people who are drafting a lot, a lot of the time you're just going to end up with single cards from draft anyway. And with Dominaria having so many legendary creatures, it's going to be fairly easy just to sort of build a casual, quote-unquote, fun Brawl deck.
Sure, but I don't know, because this is just going to get broken immediately, right? This format will be...
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the counter-argument to that is if they're a limited player, why would they be interested in a constructed format?
Yeah, where they just wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
And standard players don't care, because standard players are normally playing to grind PPTQs and GPs.
Yeah.
So why would they want to play? Like, this is the thing. So I play constructed formats. Like I play standard because that's the PPTQ format most of the time, or the RBTQ format, or the GP format. I play modern because I love it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can actually play proper constructed Magic and get somewhere by playing modern. And I play EDH because it's fun and I love Magic. So why the hell would I play this format, which is sort of stuck between the middle of those, where it's inconsequential and also is nowhere near as fun as Commander? It just strikes me as completely pointless.
Yeah, same. I think that pretty much sums up my feelings on it as well. Like, I just don't quite understand what the uproar is all about, really. Like, so one of the things that I guess sparked a lot of outrage in people was, if you go back, you can compare it to. There was a card back in Magic's early day, I think it was 1994 even, it was a card called Nelatony Dragon.
Yeah.
So that was a card that was, it was printed in 1994, and it was printed as a giveaway for DragonCon. The only way you could get that card was if you went to DragonCon. Now that card also isn't particularly good. Like, it's a 4-mana 1/1, so it's 2 and 2 red for a dragon. It has flying, it's a 1/1. It also has banding. Don't ask me what that means.
Does it?
It has, flying and banding,
Oh my god, it does.
Yeah. And then it has fire breathing as well, so you can pay 1 red. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And then if the ability is played 4 or more times during this turn, sacrifice the dragon at the end of turn.
This card sucks.
It's terrible, but there was a massive outrage amongst players then. So much that in an article from it was the 1st of August 2013, Mark Rosewater sort of outlines 20 things which were going to kill Magic. That one is listed as number 4. People kicked up sort of such a stink that Wizards decided to stop producing mechanically unique cards outside of booster packs. And then the Dragon, it was also included in early issues of the Duelist magazine, so it was given another way for players to get their hands on one, which I think is something that we will see with this card as well, this Firesong and Sunspeaker. So we already know we've got like a multiplayer format, well, new multiplayer set coming soon, like that Battle Bond. And I'm pretty much it's absolutely basic speculation at this point, but I've managed to convince myself that it's probably going to see a reprint in that, or be some sort of promotional card tied to that.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Like, they wouldn't just give it away as just the bar box promo, because they know that, like, Nelatony Dragon was a problem, and like there have been other cards that have been problems in this sort of way.
Yeah, for sure.
They've got to have thought it through, and they've got to be being careful about it.
Yeah, so I don't really understand what all of the fuss is about as far as like the sort of the price of the card goes, or the value of the card goes. Like in that way, I would compare it to something like so some of the early Magic the Gathering books all came with like a redeemable coupon that you could sort of send away to get a unique card. One of those was Mana Crypt. So for a very long time, the only way to get Mana Crypt was to get it as part of this book promo card. Now that's a card that obviously does see a lot of Commander play.
It's actually good.
And you can play it in any single deck. And that had quite a high price. I mean, it still does have quite a high price.
And it means you can cast your Nelatony Dragon on turn 2.
Yeah, sure. But this card isn't Mana Crypt.
No.
Like, I can't see this card ever climbing to the value of anywhere close to what Mana Crypt was.
No, because I mean, Biobox promos in general have been, because previously, they've been standard legal cards that you can pull out of booster packs.
Yeah, they're just like old art versions of the cards.
Yeah,
which is good, I think. Like,
yeah, and they've been reasonable cards before, like Goblin Rabble Master.
Yeah, like Sylvan Caradid.
Yeah, exactly, like Sylvan Caradid. Like, but generally, the prices of the Biobox promos were about the same as the normal cards.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases they were considerably lower as well. Like, because you knew there were guaranteed ways to get those cards, and a lot of the time those cards just weren't desirable at all. Yeah,
exactly, and I think this falls into that category as well, in the fact that I do not think this is playable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I would want to own this card. And the price isn't going to... Like I said, like if it was some kind of ridiculous mythic where this is playable, this is the best card.
Yeah, or if it was like, Urza Planeswalker, or like...
Exactly, like...
a Jace that you can only get from this Biobox, like...
Yeah, it's like... Wizards know that. It's the same with, the sort of the intro pack things, or like the Planeswalker decks where you get this Planeswalker you can only get in the Planeswalker decks.
Yeah, definitely.
But they suck, and like they're bad for a reason because they know that people won't just buy up all these things in order to get these cards. Because if this card was good, then the price would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it would be the same if like one of the Jaces from one of the Planeswalker decks was good.
Yeah, definitely.
Newer players who they're intended for wouldn't be able to get this card.
Yeah, but I think I quite like them doing this, to be honest. Like, I quite like them doing this because it allows them to experiment with cards in ways that they might not necessarily do otherwise.
Yeah.
So they can make cards that aren't necessarily powerful but are definitely interesting.
Yeah, that they want to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of understand because Magic players get angry about literally anything.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we fear change. Like, change isn't good ever.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I'd be incredibly disappointed if I opened this in a pack.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
I mean, that's it at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, you open it up in a pack and you're very unhappy with your, dollar rare, like, if that.
Yeah.
Or you buy a box, which I presume you were going to anyway.
Yep.
And now your box has an extra $5 of, like, a box has an extra $5 of value guaranteed. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then you can trade it to your friend who plays Commander.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I think it is a lot. It's a lot of fuss about nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be, this conversation would be completely different if it was one of those, powerful cards, or it was something broken or something truly unique. But I have enough faith in Wizards to think that they know better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know I went on a small rant about it earlier. We move back to Brawl as this new format where this card's meant to be.
Yeah.
That this card is pushing. Why is this a format they've chosen to make? Like, what's Wizards' motivation for making this format that no one has asked for?
I do not know. Like, I really don't know. So, I know in the article when they sort of announced the format, they said that, I can't remember if they named the person, but they said that, like, somebody, as in, like one person in the R&D office had been playing it for, like, a month, and they really enjoyed it.
Oh, actually, like, yeah, I think.
Like, even that, like, one person has played this format, so we're going to support it as a official constructed format. Seems a bit strange.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Like, this was Garrett Turner.
Yeah.
Like, this person who works for Wizards, who enjoys playing Commander, and then decided to mess about with some standard cards and see what format they could create. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean we all want to play it as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. Like, there was a video that I've been trying to find sort of in preparation for this that I haven't been able to find yet. So I couldn't remember whether it was one of the sort of Walking the Plains videos or if it was one of Marshall Sutcliffe's MTG breakdown videos.
Right. Okay.
But at some point, the person in the video is talking to somebody from the Haruruya store in Japan.
Yep.
And I'm fairly certain that they're talking about sort of the popular thing at that moment when the video is set is they're all playing like a standard variant of Commander.
Okay.
So I think that's where this has come from. I think it's been sort of quietly growing a little bit in sort of like local levels in Japan, or at least the Haruruya stores.
Sure. Somebody
from Wizards has found that they're playing it there and they've gone, hey, that sounds quite interesting. I love Commander, let's give this a go. And then it's sort of spread slightly within Wizards maybe, and
sure,
but that doesn't really, it doesn't really explain why they would support that as a constructed format when you do have so many other options out there that they don't support currently.
Exactly, and there's loads of formats. Like, for example, if we talk about like the recent explosion in Pauper popularity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why aren't they supporting that set? like that format? Like,
yeah, like Pauper doesn't have like an official sort of joint card list, legality list between sort of online and paper. Like, why?
You can't sanction a Pauper event on Wizards Event Reporter.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just, rather than put all of this time in sort of R&D into this new Brawl format, why not just say, we're looking at Pauper as one of the fastest growing formats. We're seeing that it's having positive reactions from literally everybody, which doesn't happen for Magic. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Why not just support that rather than just giving us this weird Commander light? Like,
and they put the Pauper, the Magic Online Pauper 5.0 deck lists on the actual WotC website.
Yeah.
On the Magic the Gathering website, but they don't support it as a format. That's.
Do you know if Brawl is going to be supported on Magic Online?
I don't know or care.
Because that's one of the things that I keep seeing a lot about is in a lot of sort of threads online, like forum posts and or Reddit threads, people are saying that they're quite excited to see or to at least give the format a go on Magic Arena. But I haven't seen anything saying that they're going to implement into Arena.
Okay.
There's certainly nothing on there currently, and nothing I've seen in the Arena forum either to suggest that they're even going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Plus, there's also the card, the Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Will that card be legal, and available in Arena if it's a buyer box promo?
Will you be able to redeem it off a wild card?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I assume we'll find out when Dominaria releases on Magic Arena. But
it's a standard legal rare, right?
Technically, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I guess it will be, because in Arena you do have the Planeswalker deck Planeswalkers as well, but you have no way of sort of getting a Planeswalker deck, but you can trade one of your wildcards in for them.
Sure, okay. So, I mean, I think that segues quite nicely onto Magic Arena, which I know you've been playing a lot of recently.
Yeah.
Do you want to, now that the NDA has been removed and we can actually talk about it,
yeah,
do you want to sort of go through the format a bit?
Yeah, we can talk about it a bit. So, yeah, going with sort of alternative formats like sort of Brawl and Pauper. So the Arena format is very strange at the moment.
It's not standard.
It's not standard, and it is not what it has been for sort of the past couple of months, which was Ixalan block constructed, which I haven't played a lot of Arena over the past couple of months. So I've been in the beta for a long time. So I would technically I played in the alpha. That's how long I've played it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't actually equate to how much Arena I've played, though.
Sure.
I really dislike that format. I'm so glad that we don't have block constructed GPs or PPTQs or anything. Ixalan block constructed was one of the most depressing formats I've ever played. It was just aggro.
Was it very similar to the limited format?
Quite so. I think it felt a little bit more like sealed than draft,
but
the fact that you pretty much had access to all of the cards, so you knew you're just going to jam 4 of this, 4 of that, 4 of this into your deck. You could, you just had these very sort of fast aggro decks, these Merfolk decks that were really good. Initially, it was the dinosaur decks were pretty much unbeatable before Rivals of Ixalan was introduced into it.
Yeah.
But it's just a very fast format, so I'm glad that's gone.
Yeah.
But that does mean we are left with this strange sort of in-between block and standard thing. So in the most recent update, they lifted the non-disclosure agreement, which means, so I guess it's the reason why we can talk about this now.
Yeah.
Along with that, they added Armenket block.
Okay.
So they didn't add Kaladesh, so we haven't got standard, but we've got Armenket.
Okay.
It's really weird, just really odd.
Yeah, I don't understand why they've just added half of. No, it's 2/3 of standard, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 2/3 of standard.
So I guess this is just the beta, right? So by the time they actually come to releasing this product fully and it's meant to be complete and everything, I guess Kaladesh would have rotated out of standard. Is that sort of the thinking?
I'm unsure. It seems to be as sort of time's going on, the sort of launch time is getting rolled back further and further. So I guess you could think that, but Kaladesh and Armenket are both going to rotate out at the same time.
Oh, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So I'm a bit unsure. I think the only thing I think of is perhaps it was something to do with energy. Maybe energy was just a little bit too difficult for them to sort of implement into the game at this point.
Okay, because it requires. Because this game works very differently to Magic Online, right?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. So the obvious comparison is Hearthstone, and it's an obvious comparison for a reason, because it is essentially Hearthstone, but with Magic cards.
Okay, sure.
Which it just doesn't work quite as well as it could do, or as it should do.
Yeah.
So I've noticed quite a few problems with it, things like misclicking happens quite a lot, because the whole user interface isn't really as sort of functional as it should be or as it could be, and it's very difficult to sort of set your stops at sort of the appropriate times. Sort of doing sort of things at instant speed, which is one thing that Hearthstone doesn't have. Hearthstone doesn't have instant speed interactions. So
this is the thing, because I've not played Arena, but I've seen at this point enough of it to get a general grasp.
Yeah.
So that it seems like they've tried to implement Magic, which is the most complex game, right? In terms of things that happen during a single turn.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much complexity in it. And they've tried to make it look and feel like Hearthstone, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's denying that they've sort of just copied Hearthstone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is fine. Like, Hearthstone's like one of the most successful TCG, like online TCG.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't they? Whereas Magic's just a better game. But it just doesn't work in the same way because Hearthstone's mechanically very simplistic, right? Like,
definitely. Like everything happens at sorcery speed. It's just it's very much sort of combat based.
Yeah, you draw a card, you have an extra mana, you play a card, then you do some attacking, like, and that's sort of it. You do it it happens in stages, and not that I'm any good at coding or computers in general, but that's quite simple to implement, right, on an online program.
It's a lot simpler than Magic, where you do have abilities you can activate at instant speed, you have instants you can play, you have counter spells, you have all those sorts of things.
Exactly, like just in a game of Standard, or 2/3 of Standard, there's so many things that can happen at any one moment that it can't be polished and try and make it look slick and simple, right? Like I don't really know. Like it seems.
I think really it can be, but I think the ways they've attempted it have affected the gameplay far too much. So you have something that isn't necessarily reflective of the game.
So you're just not, as a person that loves Magic, you're not enjoying this game?
Not particularly. Like I think they could do a lot to it to make it a lot better, and I think they might do. And it is still in the beta, but my feelings towards it aren't very positive at the moment. But hey, once it releases properly, we'll do a full show on it, and
we'll talk about it properly.
Yeah, there's. I'd love to say that it looks promising, but at this point it really doesn't, which is a real shame, to be honest.
I mean, this is the thing, like, because I want it to be good, but I mean, just based on everything, I've not been enticed to play it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I play quite a lot of Magic Online, and the reason I like, because you hear people complain about Magic Online all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's not good. It doesn't look good. It's like I don't care. Like I play Magic because I enjoy playing Magic, and Magic is fun.
Yeah, I think Magic Online gets far more hate than it deserves. Sure, they may have sort of issues with sort of certain cards being bugged occasionally, and sort of implementation of new sets, and things like that are going to happen when you do have a complicated game like Magic.
Yeah,
but when it works, I think it's the best version of Magic there is. Like,
absolutely,
you can't miss triggers. You can't do. You can't make illegal moves. Like,
So the point of Magic Online is to become a better Magic player, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
You can just jam games while sitting in your pants. Like when I'm playing Magic, I'm putting some pieces of cardboard onto a table.
Yeah.
When I play Magic Online, I'm seeing pixels of a card on a black background, which is basically the same thing. Like I don't need all this sort of flashy, cool, exciting stuff happening and making it look cool, because like the enjoyment is Magic, right? That's why we all play Magic, because we enjoy Magic. We don't need all this other entertaining, cool stuff. Or maybe that's just me, but like I don't need to be entertained while I'm trying to entertain myself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, it's good, but
yeah, and like I'll drop updates sort of every now and then, and episodes of the podcast as well. I feel like I am pretty much just negative about it currently, but hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, we can hope, but I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look good, right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like all we've done so far this episode is just sort of really talk negative about the game. So let's.
Oh no! Like, there's something very exciting that was announced this week that I think is really cool.
Yeah. What was that?
Which is the Signature Spellbook.
Yeah.
Jace's spellbook specifically.
Yeah. So these new Signature Spellbooks are essentially the product that's going to replace From the Vault. So From the Vault has been sort of vaulted, I guess, for now.
Sure.
Which was something that I wasn't sort of particularly happy with upon hearing, and sort of learning about these Signature Spellbook products that we're going to have to replace them. It's going to be 8 cards, and it's going to have an MSRP of $20. So already it kind of feels like it might be a little bit of an inferior product, or maybe it's not a product for me. And then they went and sort of bought the cards in the set this week, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
It looks awesome. I'm really excited. Really excited.
Yeah, like the $20 value is there. Absolutely. All of the cards in the set have got brand new art and a brand new frame, and I think they look great. Yeah,
I mean, you can just especially we won't go into too much detail about because we can talk forever about the card frames and the new art and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You can go and find them on the Wizards website, but the Jace Balerian Planeswalker card doesn't have new art. Which is
it's true. It doesn't have new art, but it does have a new frame on it.
Yeah, and they all look really sweet. The cards they've picked are actually cards you might want. Whereas like normally with an FTV, there's like a card, right? You want
definitely.
FTV lore, you wanted the Dark Depths and the GTA.
Yeah.
And then you didn't want any of the other cards.
I mean, the Marit Large token was quite good.
Oh yeah, also the Marit Large deck. That's true. But I mean, like, so in this set, so you get a booster pack.
Yeah.
You get 8 cards, and one of them's going to be foil.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. So you get 8 cards, and then I think you get an additional foil. It could be one of the 8th could be foil. It's going to be foil, but you're not guaranteed which one it's going to be.
Okay. So that's cool. So there's still like an element of boost packness to it, right?
Yeah, I really like that because out of the cards alone, you're getting that sort of $20 value no matter what. But then you've almost got that sort of like mini lottery card style effect going on as well. Like some of the cards in foil will be sort of a lot more desirable than the others, like the Jace Balerion or the Mystic Tutor, or
so like the cards in the set. Yeah, like the cards in the set are Jace Balerion.
Yeah.
Blue Elemental Blast, Brainstorm, Counterspell, Gifts Ungiven, Mystical Tutor, Negate, and Threads of Disloyalty, which are all like respectable cards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
These cards all see play, and like the art on them is really nice. I mean, have you read the flavor text on Brainstorm?
Yeah.
I have a plan. Actually, I have 3. That's just great. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I think they've just absolutely smashed this set out of the park. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's the best thing they could have done, sort of to replace that from the Vault product, which was, I thought it was a product that I really did like the design of. Like, the more recent ones didn't really sort of deliver on what they could have been.
Yeah,
but I think this is a really promising start to what could be a really interesting series of products.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And, I mean, it's started a lot of discussion, right?
Yeah, it has, definitely.
Because people have started deciding what their signature spellbooks would be like analysing what their favourite or more sort of signature cards are.
Exactly. So instead of what the deck this week, we're going to break down what our own signature spellbooks would be.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first, Sam?
Yeah, sure. I mean, mine's... Anyone that knows me is not going to be surprised by any of the cards on this list.
Yeah, same for my spells as well, I think.
It also shows how sort of polar opposites we are in terms of playing Magic.
Yeah.
Mine are Collected Company, Genesis Wave, Path to Exile, Natural Order, Green Sun Zenith, Become Immense, Blossoming Defense, and I've decided to change my last one to Regrowth.
Nice.
So all
very green.
Apart from Path to Exile, because it's my favourite removal spell.
Yeah.
Just like I like green creatures. I like cheating on mana costs.
Yeah.
You've got Collector Company, Genesis Wave, Natural Order. You get to put things into play that you haven't paid the mana for. Regrowth, I like recurring cards. Like Eternal Witness is one of my favourite cards. But it didn't really fit into this.
Yeah, for sure.
Spell book. So Regrowth's the next best thing. And then Become Immense and Blossoming Defense, because Infect is the best deck.
It's debatable, but they are two very good cards there.
Yeah, I just like Become Immense is sweet. I think it's great design, like 1 mana plus 6/6, and Blossoming Defense has won me so many games of Magic.
Yeah, I bet
it's really, really cool. And I've played all of these cards apart from Genesis Wave and Regrowth, because I suppose I can play it in old school, right?
Regrowth you can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing that in old school, sure. I mean, like, all of these cards, apart from Genesis Wave, I've played in constructed formats.
Yeah.
In actual tournaments, and they've won me games, and they're just very me, because they're green. They're green spells, and they care about creatures, and then there's Path to Exile, because green doesn't have a good removal spell.
It's efficient removal, definitely.
I still think it's the best removal spell.
I mean, it's very close between that and Swords to Plowshares. Like, Swords to Plowshares is great.
Yeah, it's not Swords to Plowshares. Like, Swords to Plowshares is also a card I love, but I don't play it anywhere near as much as I play Path to Exile. And it ramps you, and I love ramp. Yeah. I get to ramp my opponent, that's so nice. But yeah, that's my, like, green cards. I really like green cards.
Yeah, I think mine is kind of the complete opposite to that, really. So, my signature spellbook, first of all, we've got Counter Spell. So that is 2 blue to counter target spell. After that, we've got Negate. That is 1 and a blue. It's counter target non-creature spell.
This is meant to be your spellbook, not Jace's.
Well, after that, we have one of my sort of favourite cards of recent times. We have Disallow. So that is
Sweet.
1 and 2 blue, which is counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. And I think Disallow is... Yeah,
Counterspell.
yeah. Or there's some counterspells here. But I think Disallow is one of my favourite cards in Standard, if not my favourite card in Standard at the moment. Like, it's so sort of versatile and the different things you can do with it. Like, yeah, sure, you can counter a spell, but countering the activated abilities and the triggered abilities really, really can sort of get you out of a tough spot sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen do some silly things.
Yeah, I think the most ridiculous one I did was my opponent activated a Bowmat Courier with 7 cards underneath it. While they had like 3 cards in their hand.
That's
so brutal. I managed to do 11 for my opponent.
That's amazing.
That was great. That was at Nationals last year. That was really, really fun.
Oh wait, so
because you sacrifice the Bowmat Courier and discard your hand as part of the cost. So they did that, and then I disallowed the trigger. So they had 7 cards underneath the Bowmat Courier as well. So that was like 11 cards gone.
Okay, I think this is the one time we're on the Blue Mage's side.
Yeah.
Punishing a red player. That's
fine. Sweet. I just got to cast Nicol Bolas the next turn as well. Like, it was great.
Sure.
So yeah, anyway, back to my spell book. After that, we have one of my all-time favourite spells, Dark Ritual. That's just 1 black to add 3 black mana to your mana pool. So I play Ad Nauseam Tendrils and Legacy, and it's one of the sort of key cards in that deck. Just getting that fast mana, allowing you to sort of combo off as fast as possible. And after that it's a card that, again, I've only played in old school. That's Mind Twist.
Sure.
And that is X and 1 black. And that is target player discards X cards at random. And that is the reason that card is banned in most formats.
Yep, seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great card. Number 6 in my spellbook, we have Gush. It's a bit of a pauper all-star at the moment.
Okay.
So that is 4 and a blue. Or you may return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand rather than pay Gush's mana cost. And for that, you draw 2 cards.
I love that card.
Yeah, I love it as well. It's really simple. Good. Returning your 2 islands, there's an alternative cost to draw 2 cards. It's just absolutely fantastic.
It's completely busted.
It's great. You just get to draw cards for free. Like, I think drawing cards is my favourite thing to do in Magic. And doing it at no cost is like even sweeter. Plus, that's a card that needs a reprint, so I thought, hey, let's stick it in my spell book and then I can get in the hands of players again.
You can reprint it, sure.
Yeah. After that, we've got another card featured in the Jace deck. That is Brainstorm.
Yep.
It's 1 blue, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order.
Okay.
And then finally, we've got another new card, which I had sort of changed last minute. I was trying to think of another card that sort of defines me as a player, really, and I thought Supreme Will was one that came up. So that's a 2 and a blue, and then it has choose 1, counter target spell unless its controller pays 3, or look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order.
So another counter spell.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I really do like that sort of multi-functionality of the Supreme Will as well. Again, another one of my sort of favourite cards at the moment. I've been having a lot of fun with it the standard season.
Dude does 2 things that you really like doing, right? Countering spells and card advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can like counter their spell, or you draw a card, or you just get 4 cards out of the way so you can draw your approach to second sun next turn.
Sure, sweet. So our spellbooks are vastly different.
They are, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I like creatures, and you do not.
No, I like countering creatures. That's always good.
That's mean. You can't do that.
Anyway, so I think that's about all we have time for this week on Hour of Devastation. We do have a Twitter now, so you can follow us on Twitter. What is our Twitter?
It's HOFDcast.
So if you go to www.twitter.com/HOFDcast, you can follow us on there. We'll be posting sort of regular updates there whenever our episodes go up. We also have a sort of website going live soon as well, where we'll be posting articles and sort of various blog posts at various times throughout the week.
Yeah, we've decided to start taking this podcast thing seriously, right?
Yeah, maybe. Like, you know, we're getting more than 10 listeners each week, so I'm fairly happy with that.
Yeah, like, I'm really, really grateful that anyone has bothered to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, same. So yeah.
Really cool.
So yeah, thank you anybody who has made it this far. I know it has been a bit of a sort of negative episode, but we do love Magic, and
absolutely, that's why we're so critical, because we want it to be the best game ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So we want these things to be done right rather than not right.
Exactly. So once again, we're reaching the approach of the second hour. The God Pharaoh has returned, so we'll see you again next week.